Yeah, I'm now in the book of Deuteronomy. I've already read the first 4 books of the Pentateuch. That's what the Hebrews call it. The Jews, modern day Israelites and the ancient Israelites, they call it the Pentateuch, the Tanakh. And it basically gives the guidelines and the rules and the laws and regulations for the nation and for as a whole. And they were a theocratic society. It was built upon God's will, God's design, God's laws, and it definitely was not a democratic system. It was a theocratic system. It was almost kind of like a dictatorship, but under Moses. But the people were able to hear for themselves the God speaking from Mount Sinai. So there was evidence and proof that it wasn't just one man's whims, one man's, trying to be a leader when he wasn't called to be one. But it was verified that God had appointed Moses and Aaron, because even the people of Israel, the children of Israel, kept demanding proof that God had promoted them and had called them and was directing them. So the leaders of these different tribes would come up to Moses and Aaron and say, "Who gave you the authority to call all the shots, to do these things that you're doing and saying things that you're saying?" And so God had to perform miracles before them that would give proof to these people that were demanding it. So you heard about the blossoming rod and these other miracles that they did. Oh, the ground opening up. That's a real impressive one. The ground opening up and swallowing all these rebellious people. And it was done like right when it was said that it would be done. It wasn't just a random occurrence and natural random occurrence in nature. It was actually produced on actual words, communicated by God through Moses and Aaron. Stand back, and the righteous stood back, and the unrighteous were swallowed up into the earth. They went down into the pit. But so God proved his. God gave plenty of proof that of his authorship and his divine coordination, his divine plans with Moses and Aaron. There was no doubt. But there were still problems with obedience throughout Israel's history. People not conforming to God's will or his commandments and his laws and ordinances. So there were disciplinary procedures. Some of them seemed kind of harsh, but they were definitely made examples of for future generations. And that's why they had to remember all their ceremonies and traditions, and they had to do these things so that they wouldn't forget how God was intervening and acting on their behalf, and how God selected the nation of Israel to be unique and above all other nations. And he was definitely, there was little doubt that there was some more than just magic. Or sorcery. It was a divine power that man or any other created entity could produce without tapping into the spiritual realm. But yeah, it was something. I'm in Deuteronomy now, so I'll be going into I believe it's the Judges after the law. It goes into the prophets, the major prophets and the minor prophets. So we'll see how Israel continued or didn't continue in walking with God.